This is the Phanteks Enthoo Pro M Special White and Black Edition. It is an awesome tempered glass case. We'll be taking a look at it in this video, but we'll also be taking a look at one of the products that actually comes bundled with it, but that you can buy separately if you fancy putting it on, well, some rather nice fans, and that is the Halos, the Luxe and the Standard Edition. Just to give you an idea, these are fan rings. These are plates that you add to the front of your existing fans, ideally the Phanteks ones, which have the very nice white blades, which gives it kind of the best effect possible, but you can add it to any fans you want. Obviously there's 120 and 140mm options available, and these have RGB LEDs built in and are fully addressable and everything like that too, so pretty awesome. Just a little bit more information on the Phanteks Halos. We obviously have the standard plastic model. These come in at, I believe, £9 and £10 to £11 respectively for the 120 and 140mm variants. These come with screws and obviously the cables you need to be able to attach them to either your case or directly to your motherboard's RGB header. And they're actually pretty nice. Obviously, as I said, they do have, I believe it's 18 LEDs all the way around, which is pretty cool. And then you have the Luxe model. This is a metal plate. It feels very nice, powder coated in black, a very just overall beautiful feel. So it still has the same amount of LEDs and same technology built in, just obviously with that metal frame, which does provide a bit more of a premium feel. And that one, I believe, is about £16 to £18 in terms of the 120 and 140mm varieties. So that's the Luxe rings out of the way. We'll take a look at them in use in a second, but first let's take a look at the case. As I said, this is the special edition. This is the black and white model, and my god, this looks good. Now, I'm personally not a massive fan of how this case has its tempered glass attached to the side of the case with the standard 4 screws. Obviously, it does have plenty of foam padding both on the screws and the mounting poles, but overall, that's just not my personal favourite way to attach tempered glass. Now, with that aside, I would mention this is a beautiful case. Take a look on the outside. On the front, you have a very nice mesh area for the 2 included 140mm fans, I believe, as well as a single optical drive bay, if that's something you're interested in. You also have the I/O on the left hand side, including the LED changer button and hard drive activity LED, to a headphone and microphone jack, and 2 USB 3.0 ports, and the power button up the top, as well as a magnetic dust filter. This is pretty nice and does mean that you can clean it very easily, but is also very easily removable if you fancy. And of course, on the back you do have a standard layer of obviously a 120 or 140mm fan mount, obviously the motherboard I/O plate, and the black and white PCIe covers as well, which do look very nice. Taking that tempered glass off and taking a look inside, you can see that the motherboard tray is all in white with a lot of black accents, which makes this a very appealing, visually case. You also have a white parcel basement with, again, some black accents on it, including the rubber black cable grommets for really nice cable management. When building a system into this case, you will be very impressed with the aesthetics and the building experience. For me, I do want to note that the actual water cooling tray that comes out, which is normally fairly easy to remove. I mean, my Phanteks Enthoo Evolve ATX has a fantastic one, and while it can be a little bit tricky to get in the right place, once it's actually in the right position, it's very easy to slide in, whereas this one had a lot of trouble actually getting in, and because of that DVD drive, you will have to be very careful where you place your radiator on that mount, otherwise you'll have to take the DVD tray out before you can actually make that happen. Besides the radiator mount, the overall building experience is still that great Phanteks, kind of look and feel. I would mention that they don't include a parts tray like they do in the Evolve ATX. That one is very nice, but this one is just a bag of screws, which isn't as nice to deal with, and I would like to see something a little bit better for such a nice and premium feeling case. I would mention in terms of its price though, it is about £40 cheaper than the Enthoo Evolve ATX, around about £110 at the time of filming, which does put it in a little bit of a better, slightly more budget price category, although still a little bit in the high end in terms of its price point. Now we have a system built into the case, we can take a look at those Halos turned on. I would mention that because this is the special edition, they've actually included 2 of the plastic Halos on the front 140mm fans. This is a very nice aesthetic, and especially as you can see through the mesh on the front, it just looks awesome. Now with these turned on, as you can see, these are really very cool looking, and as you can cycle through the colours with the button on the front, that is very nice. But if you have a motherboard that supports addressable LEDs, you can actually do a lot of interesting effects with these as well, as you do get the cable that allows you to plug it directly into your motherboard as well, so that is pretty cool. But if you do want to just hook it up to the case, then you can do it as well and just set it to whatever colour you fancy. So what's my thoughts on the Halos and the Pro M? Well, the Pro M is a very nice case, and if you're after a Phanteks case that isn't quite the Enthoo Evolve, which is my personal favorite right now and has been for a few years at least, since I've had it anyway, then this is actually still a pretty nice shout. As I said, I don't really like how they attach the tempered glass on this specific case. I prefer a little bit of a different mounting method, but if you don't mind it and you want a very stylish tempered glass case with a very nice white and black aesthetic and those halos included in the front too, then this is a pretty good shout. The halos themselves as an individual product are pretty interesting. I love the aesthetic on these white Phanteks fans. It's just a very beautiful look, and I think that it is a quite clean way of doing it as well. It does in theory limit airflow just a tiny bit as you're effectively covering a small portion of the outside of the fans, but I don't have a wind tunnel to actually test the aerodynamic effects of that, so I can't really comment too heavily, and I doubt it has a massive impact, so I won't worry too much about it. But either way, in terms of their price point, I love the Lux for its just overall feel and quality, and that powder coating is beautiful. But in terms of their price point, as I said, you can get some integrated solutions from Corsair, Cooler Master, and NZXT, and a few other people as well, which have, you know, RGB LEDs built into them with some different aesthetics. Obviously, Corsair has the HD and the SP120s. So it's kind of what you can afford and what you're interested in and what you like the look of the best. When it comes to scoring for me, the Pro M is going to get, I think, a 4 for 5 money. In terms of performance, I think for me this is going to be a 4.5, and functionality will be, I think, a 4 here. In terms of styling, I love the look of this, and the included halos definitely help here, so it's going to be a 4.5. And a TechteamGB score, I think, a 4 with a gold award. It's a very nice case, and especially because it is at the reduced price compared to the Enthoo Evolve, this is a pretty decent value for money for what is a very nice case, and overall I'm just very impressed with it. Well, the halos are two different products in terms of the Lux versus the standard model, because they're basically the same thing, just one's plastic and one's metal. I will upgrade them together here, so in terms of value for money, I think this is going to be a 3.5. I think they're fairly expensive for the fact that they're not actually fans, and you can get some fairly similarly priced RGB fans, especially when you're looking at basically £20 for the Lux model on its own, so bear that one in mind. In terms of performance though, I think that's kind of redundant as these are stylistic elements, so I guess a 5 here. But in terms of functionality, I think especially for the Lux model it would be a 5. I think the overall sort of feel of them for the standard ones will be a 4, so I'm going to go with 4.5. Styling has to be a 5 on both accounts, and in terms of TechteamGB score, I think it'll be a 4.5 and gold award as well. So with that all said and done, what do you think of the case and the halos? Is this something that you would actually pick up for your own fans, or would you go out and buy these and a set of, you know, Phanteks white fans to go along with them, or do you prefer the Corsair HD or SP120s or any of the other just straight up RGB fan offerings? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to know any more about either of these, or in fact any of these products included here, then feel free to check out OverclockersUK in the links in the description down below. And if you want to support me in any way, please do use the affiliate links that are down there too for both OverclockersUK and Amazon as well. There's a worldwide Amazon link there too, so if you could use those, that'd be fantastic. They do genuinely help me out. If you want to support me in other ways, feel free to check out the links in the description down below, and of course just subscribe and enjoy the videos. There's plenty more over here for you that I'll link in the end cards, and of course, as I said, if you're new to the videos, feel free to subscribe as well. As I said, let me know what you think of the halos and this case in the comments down below, and yeah, otherwise see you on the live streams on Thursday, and otherwise we'll see you on the next one.